कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तनम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So maybe those who have a folio in their phone, they can take out till they set up. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 5, Text 38. The chapter's title is Narad Muni cursed by Prajapati Daksha. Evam tvam nirankrusho बालानां मतिभिद्धरे पार्षद मध्यचरसि यशोहा निरपत्रपा। एवं त्वं निरनुक्रोशो बालानां मतिभिद्धरे पार्षद मध्ये चरसि यशोहा निरपत्रप एवं त्वं निरङ्क्रोशो बालानां मतिभिद्धरे पार्षद मध्ये चरसि यशोहा निरपत्रप एवं त्वं निरनुक्रोशो बालानां एवं त्वं निरनुक्रोशो बालानां मतिभिद्धरे पार्षदमध्ये चरसि यशोहा निरपत्रप एवं त्वं निरनुक्रोशो बालानां मतिभिद्धरे Vaishnavis? Vaishnavis? पार्षद मध्ये चरसि Word to word translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Evam thus tvam you Narad nira anukrosho without compassion balanam of innocent inexperienced boys matibit contaminating the consciousness Hare of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Parshada Madhye among the personal associates Charasi travel Yashaha defaming the Supreme Personality of Godhead Nirapatrapaha although you do not know what you are doing, you are executing sinful activities without shame. Translation. Prajapati Daksha continued, thus committing violence against other living entities and yet claiming to be an associate of Lord Vishnu, you are defaming the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You needlessly created a mentality of renunciation in innocent boys, and therefore you are shameless and devoid of compassion. How could you travel with the personal associates of the Supreme Lord? Purport. This mentality of Prajapati Daksha still continues even today. When young boys join the Krishna consciousness movement, their fathers and so-called guardians are very angry at the propounder of the Krishna consciousness movement because they think that their sons have been unnecessarily induced to deprive themselves of the material enjoyments of eating, drinking and merrymaking. Karmis, fruitive workers, think that one should fully enjoy his present life in this material world and also perform some pious activities to be promoted to the higher planetary systems for further enjoyment in the next life. A yogi, however, especially a bhakti yogi, is callous to the opinions of this material world. He is not interested in traveling to the higher planetary systems of the demigods to enjoy a long life in an advanced materialistic civilization. As stated by Prabodhananda Saraswati, Kaivalyam Narakayate Tridashapura Akasha Pushpayate. For a devotee, merging into the Brahman existence is hellish, and life in the higher planetary system of a demigod is a will of the wisp. a phantasmagoria with no real existence at all. A pure devotee is not interested in yogic perfection, travel to higher planetary system, or oneness with Brahman. He is interested only in rendering service to the personality of Godhead. Since Prajapati Daksha was a karmi, he could not appreciate the great service Narad Muni had rendered his 11,000 sons. Instead, he accused Narad Muni of being sinful and charged that because Narad Muni was associated with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord would also be defamed. Thus, Daksha criticized that Narad Muni was an offender to the Lord, although he was known as an associate of the Lord. Hare Krishna. So I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis assembled and online in order to speak something appropriate according to the parampara, in order to receive their blessings and all of yours for their pleasure and for my own purification. So first, just to properly assimilate the purport, I'll just put it into some bullet points. So first thing that Srila Prabhupada talks is that there is a materialistic paradigm that people have, and those who are materialistic, they think that we should enjoy in the present world and then go to heavenly planets. Of course, the hedonistic fellows who are not having any clue also to heavenly planets, they don't even think of this part. But though when we say the word karmi, actually karmi word is used for those who believe in karmkanda. And those who don't believe in karmkanda also, they are vikarmis. Or they are atheists also, nastics, because they don't care about the shastras. So here Daksha Prajapati happens to be a karmi, Prabhupada says. So his idea is what? Let us enjoy fully in this world and then go to heavens also to enjoy further material life. So Prabhupada says that they think that their son has been unnecessarily induced to deprive themselves of the material enjoyment of eating, drinking and merrymaking. Quite a popular one, na? This. And then Prabhupada gives the argument that the yogi has a different thought process. He does not care about these materialistic people's opinion. He is callous to the opinion of the material world, and he is not interested to go to the heavenly planets. So there is always two types of people, materialists and spiritualists. Yanisha sarva bhutani tasyam jagrati samyama. So there is what is day for the spiritualist is night for the materialist. What is night for the spiritualist is day for the materialist. When we go to bed, they rise up. They become very excited, right? Because that night time is nightlife. Nightlife is very popular in the material world. So literally also night and day has become like that. And what actually Krishna talks about in the Bhagavad Gita is what activities excite a karmi does not give any excitement to a spiritualist. And a spiritualist feels excited about activities, Krishna Katha, DT Darshan. A materialist feels what is this, So what is a interest zone for a devotee and a non-devotee is completely two different sets. So a yogi does not care and he is not interested. And then Prabhupada gives a superlative, not only a yogi but a pure devotee. Jai Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki jai, Shri Shri Gaunitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And then Prabhupada gives the superlative, a pure devotee does not even look for heavenly planet. Akasha Pushpayate, it is will of the wisp, flowers in the sky, or his Krishnanand Prabhu puts it he has his special flavor for this one, a horse's egg. So how many of you seen a horse egg? No one has seen. So it does not exist. So the enjoyments of heavenly planet does not give it is no real existence because it's all temporary. So heavenly planet, forget that. He considers Brahman also as Kaivalyam Narakayate. It is as good as hell because he does not get opportunity to serve Krishna. In fact, what to talk of that, if a devotee is given even Vaikuntha planets, Krishna, Salokya Sarishti Samipyam, Sarupya Apyata, Diyamanam na grinanti vinamat sevanam jana. Agar aap mujhe Vaikuntha bhi denge, if you give me Vaikuntha also, but you don't give me opportunity to serve, I will not come there. A devotee is only excited to please Krishna. That is the end. Interested only in rendering service to the personality of God. He is intoxicated. It is said that the enjoyment that one can get, the best of the enjoyments of this material world, is like a drop in front of Brahmananda. And Brahmananda is like the ocean. And Brahmananda is like a drop in front of Bhaktiananda, the Sevananda. So he does not care about it, all this Brahmananda stuff. When Madhavendra Puri was told by Ramachandra Puri, when Madhavendra Puri was feeling great separation from Krishna, so Ramachandra Puri said that, please meditate on Brahman. He said, if I see your face and die, I don't know what gati I will get, So actually, devotees are in spiritual ecstasy all the time. They are experiencing bliss. And that is that after experiencing that bliss, what will he look at this material world as? Actually, nothing. Actually, he does not even look at this material world. He only sees this world for bringing back the conditioned souls to the spiritual world. So he is not interested. But Daksha is criticizing Narad Muni, and he is saying that Narad Muni is an offender to the Lord. Daksha is telling Narad Muni is offender to the Lord, but actually Daksha is the offender to Narad Muni, and because he is offending Narad Muni, he is offending Lord even more than offending the Lord directly. So he is actually in a covered consciousness, not able to see his own fault. So in the discussion, we will see first 4 levels of people are there: Vikarmis, Karmis, Yogis, Bhaktas, and then there is Daksha's arguments and what refutation Srila Prabhupada gives, and some more arguments, and then the refutation for them. And also a devotee's overall picture we will see about how he deals with these discussions which are happening in this particular section of Srimad Bhagavatam. So first I'll just, Vikarmi Karmi. So I mentioned about it in brief here. So Vikarmi is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say materialist. And Karmi is pious materialist. Materialist means who is materialistic in his thought process. That means he wants to enjoy. And he does not care about the Shastra, then he is materialist actually. He can do sinful activity also. Just eat, drink and be merry, enjoy life. And a large proportion of the population today is in this category. So they are Vikarmis. They are more refined people who may talk some character things. They sometimes actually they are not completely pious materialists also, because they don't follow Shastra so much. But they have some remnants of the Shastra from their past generation. And then they say, "Hamare ko acha rakna chahiye apne character ko, we should be good, do good, be good." Actually, they have some samaj seva ideas and all, but actually many of them have ignorant understanding of the way to do social service also. Like someone is feeding the poor fellows, the poverty stricken fellows, goat. So is it a service or anti-service? Because he will get goat body after this. So sometimes people are roaming in the name of social servant also, but they are actually not conscious of what Shastras tell. But here what we are talking, Daksha, he is a proper karmi. He actually believes in the Vedas, and he has a desire that his sons go through the proper program. In fact, for that, he is ready to send the sons to do tapasya. Even after the first 10,000 sons did mess up his plan, and as Srila Prabhupada puts, they became victims of Narad Muni's instructions. So, but still Daksha knew that without doing tapasya, life is no good. They cannot rule the world. They cannot be of any good to this world. So he sent them to do tapasya further, sons also, 1,000 sons. So that is an amazing thing, He did not think that, let me keep these 1,000 fellows at least with me, even if they become materialists. Sometimes devotees, when they join ashram, the parents say, better you would have run away with woman, that would have been better than, joining ashram, So he was not like that. He was more concerned about dharma. One should be dharmic at least. But then he had some problems. So that's what we will see soon. And then Prabhupada puts about the yogis. So Gyanis, yogis, they are transcendentalists. They are looking for getting out of this world, but they have a higher sense of enjoyment. Prabhupada is saying that they are callous about the material world's comments, and also they are not interested in the heavenly pleasures also. So they have gone, they have at least aspired to go beyond this material world. So they are not like, they don't have any desire for enjoyment, but their enjoyment, they're connoisseurs of real enjoyment. They know where is real taste. So yoginam ramante anante satyananda chidatmani. They like to delight in satyananda, not mithya sukh. See, Rishabdev was an appropriate father. What he said, Nayam deho deh bhajam niloke kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujamaye tapo divyam putrika yena sattvam shuddhyeti yasmat brahma saukhyam tu anantam. He's saying, my dear sons, please don't get into this. You have got a human life. Don't do kashta for things which are actually available to dogs and hogs also. Vidbhujamaye. You better do tapasya. And whatever tapasya, divya tapasya, transcendental tapasya. By that, what you will get? Shuddhyet sattvam, sattva, your existence will become purified. Sir, what will I get by purification? Oh, after that, Brahma Sakyam to Anantam, you will get Ananta Brahma. So, the real father should direct like Rishabdev, or a real mother should direct like Suniti, So that is actually appropriate disposition of a father and a mother. So they both directed towards the Supreme Lord. And Rishabdev's sons also, some of them became sannyasis, some of them became paramahansas, some of them became kings and all that. So irrespective of what ashram they took, actually they were on the path back to Godhead. So that is a good father actually. Anyway, so a devotee does not have a desire for kashta, but he has a desire for tapasya. In fact, today, the people, the way they do kashta, sometimes people say that you are doing a lot of tapasya, Baba. But actually, the way they do kashta is more difficult to do, whole night, rotating shift, morning shift, night shift, So that is more tapas, more kasht. Kasht is in suffering, it is more than the tapasya. Actually, we don't do tapasya so much, We are enjoying life. Anyway, so yogis do tapasya to get to the Brahman, and the bhaktas, because they get the taste of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord's service, thus their tapasya becomes sweetened with nectar of devotion also. So bhaktas actually enjoy something special. So even the argument that they will place to their sons if they're joining ashram will be of different nature. So you will see, like Vikarmi will say that, like I told you, that better you can, enjoy with a woman also. They may tell that fellow to go for smoking and drinking also. In fact, some of them may even force the fellow with smoking, drinking to somehow make him go wrong in the direction, So they don't mind that, but they mind him offering his whole life for Krishna. So that is a Vikarmi kind of a attitude. A Karmi may give more sublime arguments, more subtle, difficult to discern through, because like Arjuna's arguments are also very amazing actually. Most people will say Arjuna was very beautiful actually in saying that, how can I kill my kinsmen? They are all like, if they're, how can I enjoy without my kinsmen? So it looks very good, no? Very good idea. So his thought process is very, very refined. But he was talking, which is not his dharma at this stage, because Krishna is telling him to kill the apparent relatives and friends. So, but he is caught up in his enjoyment, which he will get on the material platform. So, of course, Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord, but here he is placing arguments which may look very ideal for karmis. Even actually, they get confused how like Prahlad is garlanding the killer of his father. Looks very very radical thought. Yeah, and Arjun was told to kill, but he was killing with love. Killing with love. He had pure love for all the parties, Kaurava, Bhishma, everyone. So So, but karmis cannot digest this very easily because they don't have a transcendental thought process. Traigunya Visha Veda, Naishtraigunya Bhavarjuna. So Arjun was told that please rise above these three guna talks which are done in the Karmakanda. So a bhakta, a yogi and a bhakta actually transcend these Karmakandi thoughts, and then they are actually delighting in doing something for eternal good. Sannimitte varam tyago vinashe niyate sati. अरे विनाश तो नियमित है, वो तो होने ही वाला है, लेकिन let me look for an eternal good. And they think of eternal good for everyone. And I first time met my spiritual master, Radhanath Maharaj in Mayapur. We got to meet him. Actually, that was a very special thing that we got to even ask questions to him. So I asked a question that does a pure devotee cry when some near and dear one dies? So Maharaj said that a pure devotee cares both for has feelings, like a pure devotee loves both the living and the dead. He worries about the spiritual welfare of both the living and the dead. So he may cry, but why he cries? If a devotee dies, then he will cry in separation from in an association he's not getting. And if a materialistic fellow dies, who maybe is near and dear, then he cries for praying to the Lord that please elevate him. Plus, he also cries that he wasted his human life. So, actually, I wanted to hear from Maharaj to know whether a pure devotee becomes hard-hearted. If he becomes hard-hearted, then I don't want to follow this path. But Maharaj's answer gave me clear idea. I can cry also, as a pure devotee if I become. So that means I can walk this journey because I didn't want to become a hard-hearted fellow. But Krishna gave me right answer at the right time. So then now we see Daksha's arguments. Okay. First, we'll just see what he gave criticism. He said, Asadu, Papa, Nirankrusha, you are not a sadhu, you are sin personified, you are actually not compassionate, you have taken the fame of the Supreme Lord, you are shameless. And then further he will say, Sohrida Ganam, you are actually violent to all the living entities, and you are Vairan Karam Aivarinam, you create enmity among others also. Like that he was. And then he told, hey, one time I forgave you, because 10,000 sons, now too much ho gaya, 11,000 sons, father. And then travel without residence, he gave a curse also. So Prabhupada puts these things in the purports, different purports. Despite accusation of materialistic parent, devotee should preach Krishna consciousness. A Vaishnava's duty is to enable one to go back to Godhead. That is his duty. And Prabhupada writes first about Narad Muni, and then he says, we are followers of Narad Muni, so we have to do this duty, no matter what others say. And a bhakti yogi is callous to opinions of the matter world. A devotee is actually Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. Narad Muni had come to deliver Daksha. And devotee does not create enmity, rather non-devotees become inimical on their own nature, because of their own nature. Like Yudhishthira Maharaj was Ajata Shatru, but Duryodhana was inimical to him. So he did not feel inimical towards Duryodhana, but Duryodhana felt inimical. But a devotee rather remains tolerant to the inimical nature of the non-devotee and remains merciful towards delivering him. Titikshvaka Karunik. And then also the curse that Daksha gave was in a blessing in disguise. He told that you cannot stay anywhere more than 3 days. So Haribol, very nice, preach Krishna consciousness nicely. So anyway, so now we'll go to arguments. So first argument. One of the arguments is first Grihastha life experience is compulsory for proper renunciation. In the 36th verse, Daksha is saying, Arbakanam, they were inexperienced, they did not have any experience of Grihastha life, and you induced a artificial spirit of renunciation. In 41, first part, he says, they actually personal experience of misery of false happiness will naturally induce detachment. If they see the sharpness of material enjoyment, then they will develop detachment. So, but Srila Prabhupada says that material nature induces one to enjoy even after suffering. Automatic detachment is impossible. Prabhupada gives the example that when a lady becomes pregnant, she thinks she gets labor pain. It's so painful that sometimes the lady says, I will not ever further again become pregnant. But again one goes for another child. So actually a person gets again and again beaten by material nature. But no one actually realizes. The proof is that simply by going through Grihastha life, people don't become Vanprasthas, right? Actually, a person, Grihastha, or I should rather say Grihmedi life, because Grihastha ashram has a certain important spiritual duty to do. But if someone is simply doing a householder life where he's enjoying sense gratification, he gets a lot of beating from Maya. But after that also he continues to somehow find out, he keeps adjusting with the things and tries to see how I can enjoy this material world only. And till the fag end of life, when the sons are married, after that he thinks now grandsons will come, and then he becomes attached to grandsons. Like Kailash story. So there is no detachment, automatic detachment does not come. Actually, the Vedic path is whether one either hears from the spiritual master, or he hears from the spiritual master and understands the misery of this world and does not take to the Grihastha ashram, and he becomes a Naishtika Brahmachari. And the other path is he hears from the spiritual master, he understands the nature of the Grihastha ashram also, and he understands the nature of material world, he understands the nature of material pleasure, but he still feels a need for being in the Grihastha order and engaging in the duties there. And by following the good instructions of the spiritual master in the Grihastha order, as a sadhaka, because he is doing Vaidhi sadhana bhakti under the Guru, that is why he realizes the suffering of this material world. Otherwise, he will never realize. Not one may go through the Grihastha ashram, but he will not grow through the Grihastha ashram. So one will just go and become old. And sometimes people become old and think that they are very mature also. And they want to give satopdesh, that what are all our experience, sir. So please understand, we are the experienced fellows of this material world. हमने जो dar bhatak ke, or what all we have experienced, now we will share the experience with all others. But their experience and their so-called realizations are actually based on illusion, and they have not got the spirit from the Shastras. So the Shastras are giving certain conclusions, but they are giving some opposite conclusions. So unless a person is following the process of bhakti, unless a person is following the spiritual master, it is not that the experience itself will teach, the renunciation will come. No. So Prabhupada's first argument is this: material nature induces one to enjoy even after suffering, and automatic detachment is impossible. And the second argument he puts in the 36 purport, he says Grihastha life is not compulsory, rather it is a license. And Brahmachari training and Vanprastha for all Grihasthas is compulsory. Prabhupada writes there. I will show you the factor. See, people addicted to householder life wonder how one can give up the enjoyment of Grihastha life, which is a concession for sex enjoyment, simply to become a mendicant in Krishna consciousness. They do not know the householder's concession for sex life cannot be regulated unless one accepts the life of a mendicant. The Vedic civilization therefore enjoins that at the end of one's 50th year, one must give up household life. This is compulsory. So, someone who is saying Grihastha life is compulsory, sorry sir, Grihastha life is not compulsory. Vanprastha is compulsory for all Grihasthas. And Brahmachari training is compulsory. So, Prabhupada says further. However, because modern civilization is misled, householders want to remain in family life until death, and therefore they are suffering. In such cases, the disciples of Narad Muni advise all the members of the younger generation to join the Krishna conscious movement immediately. There is nothing wrong in this. So everyone should go through a brahmachari training so that he develops the joy of self-realization, and then he will go through Grihastha ashram also. Some will go through Grihastha ashram, some will go through Naishtika Brahmachari ashram. And those who go through the Grihastha ashram, they already have tasted something very special in the brahmachari training. Then they will have excitement to soon renounce and become the Vanprastha also. And even the Grihastha ashram life also will be very exemplary. They will have always realizations coming, because they are very appropriately following the Guru Sadhu Shastra actually. And we heard yesterday only from his guest Shankar Pandit Prabhu, he was sharing such beautiful realizations. So those who are doing exemplary devotion service in the Grihastha ashram, they will also get realizations. So here, coming back. Yeah, so this is the first argument. The first Grihastha life is compulsory for proper renunciation. Sorry sir, wrong argument. Second, deprived my sons from material enjoyment unnecessarily. So Prabhupada says, This same phenomena is occurring in our Krishna movement because we are instructing all the boys in the Western countries to follow the path of renunciation. And then he says, we allow Grihastha life. But a Grihastha also follows the path of renunciation. Why? Because we are all Lord Chaitanya's servants. Lord Chaitanya mission is Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. No? So the whole program of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Vairagya Vidya only. And even the Grihasthas of ISKCON movement are very renounced. Prabhupada is saying a Grihastha also follows a path of renunciation. Even a Grihastha has to give up so many bad habits that his parents think his life has been practically destroyed. No? See, a parent may say, you come to movie, you come, let's watch TV, go to restaurant. But he has a very special life where he wants to see only Hare Krishna movie, and he would like to only honor prasadam. So even a grihastha has to deal with the outside influences with a very strict disposition, where he may have a polite disposition, but he has to be strict in his vows. So we allow no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, and no intoxication. And consequently, the parents wonder how, if there are so many no's, one's life can be positive. In the Western countries especially, those four prohibited activities practically constitute the life and soul of the modern population. Yeah, life and soul. Prabhupada was Vyavasatmika Buddhi. We should take the instruction of the Guru as life and soul. So these Western country, India is fast catching up also. So this is how they feel that they are depriving because they are not enjoying like us. We want to enjoy these things, but they are like sometimes when I go home, they say, "आपने चाय भी छोड़ दिया? आपने आप चाय भी नहीं पीते? कितना वैराग्य है आप?" Before British came, no one was drinking tea in the entire India, So what vairagya, So these are all artificial necessities, There is no necessity. It is all artificially created. So even what all like a person feels that without a certain amount of enjoyment of material life, we cannot remain. Actually, many things are being propagated that it is the need of the hour now. But it is because the bombardment of the mind and senses is very strong. The sanskaras go very wrong. And then the jiva is like, he is helplessly dragged towards the sense enjoyment. But actually, it is never a necessity. And the proof is Srila Prabhupada elevated the hippies who were doing all the nonsense. He elevated them to become Paramahansa Vaishnavas. That means if someone takes to the right program, then he gets such a higher taste that he gives up all this. One hippie asked Srila Prabhupada that, Swamiji, have you ever tasted LSD? Prabhupada said that I don't need to taste. My disciples have tasted before coming to Krishna consciousness. And he said that I don't need to taste tool to tell it is bad. Yeah. So in the Western countries, especially these prohibited. Yeah. Okay. Next one. In the 30th purport also, which we just now read, they think that their sons have been unnecessarily induced to deprive themselves of material enjoyment. So actually, the point is, bhakti naturally brings jnana and vairagya. And Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayad Ahetukam. It brings natural knowledge and detachment. So after getting knowledge and detachment and tasting the higher pleasure of Krishna's lotus feet service, one will not look back at the material enjoyment at all. And Raghunath Das Goswami is a great example. Yeah. Okay. এই মতের রঘুনাথের বৎসর গেলা द्वितीय वत्सरे पलायते मन कैला. In this way, Raghunath Das passed 1 year exactly like a first-class business manager, but the next year he again decided to leave home. रात्रे उठी एकेला चलिला पलाया दूर हईते पिता तारे anila dhariya. He got up alone one night and left, but his father caught him in a distant place and brought him back. Ei mate bare bare palaye dhariya ne, tabe tare mata kahe tara pita sane. This became almost a daily affair. Raghunath would run away from home and his father would again bring him back. Then Raghunath Das' mother spoke to his father as follows. Putra batul haila ihae rakah bandhiha. Tara pita kahe tare nirvinna haya. Our son has become mad. She said, just keep him by binding him with ropes. His father, being very unhappy, replied to her as follows. Indra sama Aishwarya Stri Apsara sama He sab bandite nari lekha yaramana. Raghunath Das, our son, has opulence like Indra, the heavenly king, and his wife is as beautiful as an angel. Yet all this could not tie down his mind. Dadira bandhane tare rakhiba ke mate Janmadata pita nare prarabdha khandaite. How then could we keep this boy home by binding him with ropes? It is not possible even for one's father to nullify the reactions of one's past activities. Chaitanya Chandrera Kripa Haya Chai Hare. Chaitanya Chandrera Batul Ki Rakhite Pare. Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has fully bestowed his mercy upon him. Who can keep home such a madman of Chaitanya Chandra? So like that. And of course after that, Raghunath Das feels to take shelter of Nityanand Prabhu to get the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further to really be able to go out of home and give his life fully. So one who has tasted the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, he will not have a desire for enjoying this world. Actually, when I was in my home, sometimes my grandmother, she was a devotee in the Brahma Sampradaya. So she told me, "Dekh beta, tu to privrat ho gaya hai, tujhe kuch nahi pakadega. No, you can marry also." I said, "Ore, this is Bhagavatam argument, huh?" You know? So she said, "You can think for your parents also." So actually, when she told me, actually, you cannot, you were not like this, but you became like this because you got the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy can take a materialistic fellow and give him such a higher taste that he will not care about the materialistic world at all. So of course, I'm still trying to work on that, but the point is that the taste of Krishna's lotus feet. This is a very beautiful verse. Krishna pada padmaganda jai jana pae Brahma loka adi sukha tare nahi bhae. One who experiences the fragrance of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna does not value even the standard of happiness available in Brahmalok, the topmost planet. What to speak of heavenly happiness? So this is Nityanand Prabhu tells about Raghunath Das Goswami that he has got the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Now he's not getting attached to anything in this world actually. So once his own Giriraj Swami Maharaj's father had come and he had given a blank check to Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada said, "You can take your son. No problem." So he was a very, very big multi-millionaire personality. But Giriraj Maharaj had no desire to go back actually. So Srila Prabhupada aroused such renunciation in the heart of the disciples that the father, mother, whatever they can offer as praloban also, the jiva is not interested actually. And Garg Muni Prabhu, his father was offering him a big estate also to be with, but Garg Muni Prabhu said, "Hare bol." So all this actually, like this we can share many examples. Next one is argument. Knowledge brings real detachment, not changing dress like you have done. So Daksha says like this. But Narad Muni said, Prabhupada is saying, Narad Muni actually aroused knowledge in Daksha's son and thus they became detached. So it is very important for us to also work in our life to develop the Sambandha Gyan, develop the Divya Gyan properly. And if the knowledge is not developed, the Vairagya will not become complete. We may have joined ashram also, but unless the divine knowledge arises, where we can see everything as the property of Krishna, then we will still have a sense of enjoyment towards the items and sense of enjoying this material world. So, not free from debts. So, yesterday his guest Shankar Pandit Prabhu very beautifully elaborated on Devarshi Bhutapta Ninam Pitrinam verse Prabhupada tells. And I have added one more argument that actually he is freeing the debt because he is going to deliver. The person who is taking the program of pure devotion service, he is going to deliver his father, which is the duty of the son. Puha Nam, that Puha Nam Loka, the hellish planet has to be Puha Trayati iti Putra. No? So that is the duty of the son. And also the duty of the parents is that he should deliver the son. You know? Jananina sasyat pitana sasyat. So one should know that actually that was the duty of the parents, and that if they are not doing, so actually Daksha would not have done the full job, but the child has already done the full job for Daksha. And one whose mind is changed by others can't be so renounced. So that means Narad Muni ne phusla diya, beka diya isko, no? But detachment is possible by devotees' blessings. Prabhupada writes a very beautiful sentence line there. The young boys and girls of the Krishna movement have given up the spirit of material enjoyment not because of practice, but by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his servants. Because mercy of Srila Prabhupada actually made them completely detached from all sense of material pleasures actually. So I would like to take 5 minutes to also share a little a picture of an overall picture where we can see what a devotee, even if he joins the ashram, what he actually sees, how he sees his parents, and how he sees the world, and what is his duty in life. Because sometimes the world may say that okay, you have given all the argument, but this is the problems you are, you're not doing this for us, doing that for us. So, and we also in our mind may have a question also. So see, devotee respects, feels grateful, and serves the parents, but not based on their terms, based on knowledge and within the boundaries of his ashram and guru's instruction. So Prabhupada, when he would give instructions, I have a full document on that, but I'll just share here briefly. So Prabhupada used to quote Prahlad. So what were the 4 characteristics of Prahlad's way of dealing with his father, who was actually a materialistic father, a materialist, not even a karmi. So he was detached from non-Krishna conscious instruction. He is respectful in dealings. He is preaching Krishna consciousness, and he is praying to the Lord for their spiritual elevation. So this is 4 things that we should do for the parents. And Lord Chaitanya, how he dealt with his mother also is exemplary. Even when he had taken sannyas, how he was very respectful to the mother, and he said, I became mad and I somehow took this sannyas. Now whatever you say, I will do. Of course, this you can tell if a mother is very, shastrically sound, because she knows once someone has taken sannyas, he should not go back. But if someone is not like that, she will say, Aja beta, ghar aja, no? So Lord Chaitanya was knowing that Sachi Mata is very sound. So she had pain, but she understood that I should allow the son to now move ahead. And still, Lord Chaitanya was always concerned to give her some sense of emotional help. So in different ways, some people would send message to Sachi Mata about what is Nimai doing, and also he would appear, of course, that Lord can do. He would appear whenever Sachi Mata would offer bhoga. He would directly take. Even Shankaracharya was respectful towards his mother in the last days when he did the rites for her actually. So Shankaracharya, Mayavad, no relationship matters in this world. Then what to talk of devotees? Devotees are devotees. So Prabhupada taught his disciples to respect parents actually. Like he told Garg Muni Prabhu and Brahmanand Prabhu to go to their mother and pay obeisances. They had never done such thing. So they went and paid obeisances, and mother opened the door and she saw no one. And then she saw both the sons are lying on the floor, Dandavat. Then she, what are you doing? Then they said that this is actually offering obeisances. My spiritual master has told that we should offer respects to the mother. So Prabhupada was always very respectful to the parents himself. When His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj's parents came, they were very, very touched by Srila Prabhupada's dealings. Because Prabhupada was very gentlemanly in his dealings, was very accommodative for them. And at the same time, Giriraj Maharaj remained here on. And Gargmuni Prabhu's and Brahmanand Prabhu's parents also like that, the mother's thing. So there are many quotes of Prabhupada. I can go through them, but now I'll just go through some more important examples. When His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj's mother and father were in the last days. So when his father was in the last days, even as sannyasi, actually he went and he was serving the father, even cleaning his stool and urine also. And father was shocked because in Western civilization, he has never seen such a there is in the history of Western civilization, he must be the first fellow, because no one has done such service to the parents, and so he was having such a attitude because he had learned devotion service. So Prabhupada makes a son cultured actually. So Giriraj Maharaj served his father, and mother also was very nicely served by His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj arranged a nurse for her who was a devotee, and by her service he became so nicely connected that she offered the Tetons nursing home in Bhaktivedanta Hospital. So actually the devotees behave in such ways where they share affection without becoming attached. So if they do that, then the parents can also become like devotees or Pakka devotees. Parampuja Radhanath Maharaj's mother, when she was brought here to Chopati, and she was touched by the dealings by his Krishna and Janpu and his wife. And then later on, when she was in her fag end of life, that time she was actually not able to say any word. Whatever others would say, she would not remember anything. But if someone said Hare Krishna, then she was Hare Krishna. So she was only remembering Hare Krishna. And then when she left the body, Maharaj did he gave the ashes in the Ganga at Mayapur. I had earlier in another class shared on His Holiness Keshav Bharati Maharaj also. And like that, actually many parents are becoming devotees also eventually. Initially they oppose, then they respect, then they appreciate, then they become devotees only. So it is happening in so many people's life. And ultimately Krishna takes care of their ultimate journey. Like in this case, Radhesham Prabhu's parents, mother was devotee, father was not devotee externally so much. But then when he got cancer that time, then earlier mother was wanting to come to Pune, but father was not. But when he got cancer, then he told mother that now let us go to Pune. And then Radheshampu arranged for that. And in the flat, many great souls also visited and gave them blessings and association. And then eventually mother left the body first and father left later. So in 2009 or so, when his mother had met Srila Radhanath Maharaj in a yatra, she had asked for 3 blessings. That I should chant 16 rounds to the last day, I should leave my body peacefully, and I should leave before my husband. All 3 happened actually we were thinking that any day father will leave, but mother left before. So Krishna can only arrange these things. We cannot arrange all these things, because free will of those living entities and Krishna's plan when to make the person leave the body. I'll tell one more of his Sundar Krishna Prabhu. His Sundar Krishna Prabhu is a Panjabi Bagh Brahmachari. Very wonderful Vaishnava. So when he had joined ashram, his father was doing a lot of tantrum. I said, how can you do this? How can you do that? But eventually when he went to an astrologer, and the astrologer told, hey, you are still alive. You should be dead by now. Do you have a son who is a devotee? He said, yeah, I have 3 sons, and out of that one fellow is a devotee. He said, because of that only you are living today. Otherwise you would have been dead. Then he became very serious in devotional service. And he started chanting, everything happened. Then when he started chanting, all the other relatives became alarmed. Arey, isko kya ho gaya, no? Pehle to bhai beta hi gaya tha. And then his father, when he was again about to leave the body, that time the son kidnapped the father and took him to Vrindavan. And when Vrindavan hospice, he was there. So then they went to Radha Sham Sundar's darshan in the morning and thought of getting a garland of his. theirs. And they came to know Param Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj is in town. So they thought, if Maharaj can bless the father. So they came to know Maharaj is going to the hospice only. They ran to the hospice with the garland, and Maharaj came to the room of the father and he garlanded the father. And as soon as he garlanded the father left the body. You know? Can you make this setting for your father? Hmm? You cannot make by any means. So what the ultimate goal of giving shelter to the father is now in the hands of Radha Vrindavan Chandra, Radha Sham Sundar. That we cannot do by any material means. But that is possible by Krishna's plan. Like that, our very wonderful is Sundar Prabhu, is Sankirtan Prabhu, they both dedicated their life. Then his mother became devotee, then father also became devotee, both of them. And when mother was leaving, she told the father that I asked you one promise, you should give your full time to Krishna now. And he gave his full time to Krishna also. So both of them became devotees. So if we do service in ignorance, then that's like saving the coat in the drowning man. Okay, time is up now. Okay, I'll just tell the last 2 points. The freedom also comes with responsibility. That means when we say Devarshi Bhutapta, there is one very important word there, Sarvatmana. So Prabhupada translated fully surrendered. So we should look forward to do pure devotional service in the Brahmacharya ashram. Otherwise, we are not vindicated from the debts that we have. So unless we live for pure devotional service, we cannot say that this verse applies to us. And here Krishna says Sarva Dharman Pratyaja, but then he says Mamekam Sharanam Vaja. So freedom brings responsibility also. So devotees contribute greatly to the society also, not that they cut off from the society. And we can see how devotees are doing so much of welfare work for the society. Food for life is gross, value education is more subtle, and making them devotees is sublime. Like that, we can see many more activities, wonderful activities are happening. So we should know that actually devotional life is all auspicious. It is delivering oneself, it is delivering the parents, it is delivering the world actually. So one should with full heart offer his life to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thanks.